So this review will be like no other review you've seen before, and you will probably never see again. I have spent something in the order of $2,000. Now what you're going to see today is very picturesque. Very pretty indeed. It's one of those magic flying days, even though the wind is up here.
Hey, I bought a new camera. I think it's a game changer when it comes to a windy environment like this, such as when you're flying in a open cockpit aircraft. Keep watching, see what I chose.
Really good cockpit to mark off. Left crosswind 1-1, turn to the eastern marina, maintaining 1 down and solely to outbound for Lady Island Island. Gotta go back.
I'll be adding full-length flying videos, or otherwise known as slow videos, to my other channel called Stuart Riddell Time Traveller. Insta360 X3 versus the DJI OSMO Action 3. A review like no other. At last, there is one camera that can now do it all for me. All of the flying seen here was filmed on one of these two cameras. Can you tell which one I chose? I'll give you 3 clues as we progress. And a big shout out to JCar Harvey Bay, and thanks for the support over the years. I love these tech stores. It's all about using the camera that best suits your purpose. My application is action sport, mostly flying. But the following advice applies to many extreme flying, motorcycling and racing activities. The filming challenges associated with flying are numerous, and include audio quality and input connectivity, wind noise, framing, battery life, and card capacity, to name a few. When flying, you are not able to just pull over anywhere to change cards and batteries. Reshoots are often not possible either. There's not much worse than checking your footage later to see you didn't record the expected video after an hour of flying because the battery went flat as you arrived on location.
Another test I want to run this morning is if I fly a bit slower, do I burn a lot less fuel? Because the book says I should, and I've been a bit concerned about how much fuel I've been burning for the number of hours, per hour. So I think it's just my flying habits. I'm flying too fast, and the parasitic drag of the aircraft is causing an excessive fuel burn. Not excessive, but still higher than I would like, and therefore reducing my range, my endurance, distance travelled.
In my experience, to film a flying adventure, the flying video filming challenges are knowing where to point the camera, because I won't specifically know what I'll want to film. Pilot view needs synced audio for simplified editing. Aircraft intercom needs direct camera connectivity. Flights can be quite long, even 4 hours. Camera must be kept charged. Both cameras have horizon leveling stabilization, great for flying. Multiple camera angles are needed to get correctly framed shots. There are limited safe mounting options on an aircraft, and it mustn't fall off. And that was the first camera clue. Which camera?
Okay, then this morning I'm out testing one of these cameras. Why? Well, let me explain. Oh, well, first of all, I nearly wasn't out testing one of these cameras because I couldn't get into my hangar because I forgot my keys. But with a little bit of ingenuity, found a way. So we're in the air, we've got the aircraft out, we're good to go. Thank goodness for that, because otherwise it was a waste of a get up early morning and a beautiful blue sky day. So this review will be like no other review you've seen before, and you will probably ever see again. I have spent something in the order of $2,000. The main reason for that was because of this new helmet, which, as you noticed then, went dead quiet. And that's because it's got voice-operated speaking, like it's voice-activated. It's also got auto noise, I think it's called auto noise reduction, which means it will cancel out the background noise coming into the microphone. Do these helmets work in open cockpits like microlights? You'll be able to see that this morning. That's one of the tests this morning. And we'll be looking at the camera that I'm using right here. So let's discuss that now, and let's go and have a look at some spectacular views of Hervey Bay on a beautiful blue sky morning such as today.
Multiple camera angles make video productions more interesting for the viewer. That is very important. So here's the second clue. The DJI OSMO Action 3 has a USB-C port used for external mic input and charging, but not both at the same time, as far as I'm aware. I like using 4K 25 frames per second with high bit rates. With this in mind, I have a GoPro Hero 11 which I am now using to film from the wingtip. I like the cropping flexibility of the new square 8:7 taller ratio sensor. It records large files though, 5.3K full sensor with a bit rate of 120 megabits per second. The Osmo Action 3 is similar at 4K 25 frames per second, with a bit rate maxing out at 130 megabits per second. The last on this list of high bitrate offenders is the X3, but it covers many camera angles, just like multiple cameras would. However, reframed, cropped linear video is only 1080p, not 4K. At 5.7K before reframe cropping, the bitrate of the X3 is 120 megabits per second. Same as the other two. Clue number 3. Running 4 cameras to capture all the angles simultaneously at 120 megabits per second, that's 480 megabits per second of video data combined. And also, just 2 conventional cameras cost more than the X3. Using 3 cameras means a lot of video clip management skills there too. Albeit better quality than exporting reframed 360 captures. But is the X3 good enough for YouTube?
Now, before we get into the review of this camera, let me just also say how I've set the camera up, and all cameras can be set this way, so you won't be able to pick which camera this one is. First of all, also, I want you to take note of what you think the quality's like and which camera you think it is. You've got a choice of 2. One is the DJI OSMO Action 3, and the reason I wanted to change to that was because the reason I wanted to use that camera is because my previous original Osmo Action, the audio was so nice compared to the GoPro with direct audio intercom inputs. The other reason I then thought about maybe looking at the Insta360 X3 is because it also has audio input, and apparently the audio input's quite reasonable. So look at the audio and consider the quality of the image. Now, the other thing we need to consider with this camera that I've got is the settings that I'm using, applicable to both cameras. So I'm using an EV of 0, no exposure value. It's on full auto, and the white balance is set for 5000K.
For social media such as YouTube, and as seen here now, 1080p 25 frames per second at 80 megabits per second is all that is required. So which camera got the job in adventure aviation? You have likely already guessed.
I'm using standard natural. I'm using normal sort of colours. I can't really give that away actually. I don't know what to say there. And through this video there'll be 3 clues. So watch on, and 3 clues will be given as we go as to which camera that I am using. By the 3rd clue you will know which camera it is, I would suspect.
Excluding the GoPro Hero 11 wingtip camera, at a total of 120 megabits per second, video data management is sort of simplified, of course with some caveats. Have I found my ultimate flying video platform?
So we're going to go and explore the coastline of Harvey Bay, Pelican Banks, Moon Point over at Fraser Island, Kerngle Creek, and maybe a little bit of Big Woody, the marina in Harvey Bay. We're going to look at the quality of the shots. Now the camera that I'm using as well, I mean I've got multiple cameras set up here and I can shoot many angles, so I'll be able to pick everything up as we go around. But there'll be one camera angle in particular that you'll need to really look at, and I'll show you which one it is as we fly. You can compare that with the other angles as well if you like, the other cameras, and see if you can spot the difference. I'm going to slow down a bit more. I'm not going to increase throttle. Let's run 4200 RPM today. Let's pick it up a bit. We've got a flight time so far of 7 minutes since takeoff. We are actually doing 85 knots, and that's ground speed, and 72 knots airspeed, 72 knots at 4235 RPM, and that's what's important, those 2 numbers. Now also this morning we're using another camera on the wingtip. That is one I've had for a little while. Actually it's a very new model too. It's the GoPro Hero 10. Actually it's not the latest model, I was using the 11. So now today I'm using the 10, and that is just running on battery, so I don't know how long that will last. But that gives us horizon leveling, and that will mean that we can fly. Doesn't matter what we do with the wing attitude, it will always remain with a horizontal horizon, level horizon, so that we can actually see what the aircraft's doing in relation to with the horizon without causing a weird horizon, a tilted horizon, a banking horizon. Going over the radio towers now, I must remain clear of those. I'm supposed to be 1,000 feet, or 500 feet. Harvey Bay traffic, microlight 6340 is 5 miles to the west of the field, 1,300. Descending for 1,000, tracking coastal to the east towards Fraser Island. Harvey Bay traffic. Okay, we'll want to pitch down, because we're still climbing actually, just noticed. Now what you're going to see today is very picturesque. Very pretty indeed. Because it's one of those magic flying days, even though the wind is up here. Looks to me like we've got, well, 13 knots tailwind anyway, 12, not too bad, is it? Someone on the beach with a car, is that legal? None of my business. It's like a cop. It's not though.
So here's my scenario.
Go Beach, we got a Zulu Kilo Foxtrot departs off. Left crosswind 11 to the east of the marina.
This is a beautiful little place called Pelican Banks. I think it should now be called an island. White silica sand just off the southwestern part of Moon Point, Fraser Island. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? We're now going to head over to Moon Point to the to our right there at 3 o'clock. There she is, looking great.
Yes, I chose the X3. My original Insta360 1R, which I can now sell, served me well for the last 3 years. It only had internal microphones though, with no external input. It would make a great car dash cam though. The X3 creates a fantastic opportunity for improvement if it is affordable for you. Advantages of the X3: reframing, no risk of misframing the shots. Simultaneous charging and audio recording with Insta360 external mic adapter. Pilot audio recorded with the video is synced at all angles. Multiple 3 to 4, even 5 potential camera angles in one camera. Less video data to archive, saves storage space. I can now sell my aging action cameras. Secure, convenient mounting 1/4 inch. A remote control. GPS overlay, speed, distance, elevation gauges available in the videos. The flexibility is huge.
So we've already done a test with this to make sure this review, if you want to call it a review, this test flight was going to go well, so the previous test will play after this one. I flew to Gayndah, had a coffee with some friends, and flew home again.
374 Delta is to 6 miles to the south-southeast on descent through 9,000 feet. We're currently dropping from 5 mile highway 29 and estimating that position at 1
Yeah, so again, let me know what you think of it, and there's a lot of advantages for me having this camera rather than having multiple cameras all running at the same time, chewing up memory card space. And the fact that I can charge this camera at the same time as well, I can't do that with the Action 3. And the reason I was looking at the Action 3, if I haven't explained already, the Action 3 has horizon leveling just like the GoPros, except so my Action, the first original, didn't have that, and I need it for the horizon. When you're flying, you've got no control over the horizon leveling. So the GoPro does it. I didn't think the audio quality was as good, but the Insta360 X3 gives me the audio input, good quality, horizon leveling, charging at the same time. Action 3 doesn't give me charging and audio input at the same time. I think I've said enough.
But the disadvantages: there's time needed to pre-edit and process, big files but only one to deal with, a camera card fail loses everything, learning curve but not too bad, handling due to the front-back lenses, must be careful. My conclusions are that with the X3 it can do this, this and this as well as this, and all with synchronized audio and flow state horizon leveling. My choice may not be yours. Do I still think I made the right one? Yes, indeed. I am very pleased with the video quality too. Make sure you do your homework specific to your use scenario. Both the Insta360 and DJI cameras can essentially do the same thing, record videos, but with key differences being frame rate, resolution and workflow. The creativity and movie production aspect will always be up to you, the creator, and that takes priority over technical specifications. The Insta360 X3 certainly is more flexible and it works for me. Be aware that specifications can change with firmware updates. This information was prepared with the specifications at the time of publication, April 2023. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you are going to choose to purchase for your application and what is that.
You know, I've got this camera now and I paid for it and the helmet's been working great, I think you'll agree. It just keeps my ears quiet and it keeps the audio when recording quiet until I say something or there's a radio call. Anyway, we'll get on with the business of landing. Mirror traffic, microlight 6340 joints downwind, runway 17 full stop, mirror. Punch power. Okay, we're on the ground almost, not there yet. Just get it ready. Oh, okay, nice catch. Beautiful. Touchdown. Touchdown. We're on the ground. That was never fun, that. I never find that very fun. Probably because of my past experience we won't talk about anymore.